Welcome to a Shaun short episode on the Always Another Game podcast, where today we're going inside my mind to talk about performance optimization. So I want to know from you, are you optimizing performance correctly? Whether you are a high achieving business leader, whether you are an athlete, whether you are a parent, are you at your optimal performance most days? Probably can't be every day, but most days, to see success in your goals, whatever they may be. Because when I look back over my career and I look at other athletes that I played with, even kids today, there's a lot of time spent playing the sport. That makes sense, right? You want to get good at football, you've got to play football. There's a day-old argument of cross-training. There is a lot of people that still say, even if you are passionate about football, you've still got to go play tennis or rugby or cricket or something else to not only hone different skills that can carry over to your sport, but to prevent burnout, to prevent injury of using the same muscles over and over again. But this isn't just about that with sport optimization, because I had a decent amount of ice time. I played a lot of sport. I had the cross training when I was younger. And many of you probably won't know, there was points in my career where I was playing against players who currently play in the NHL, the National Hockey League, the highest level of hockey in the world. I was playing against them, and there was a couple of tournaments where I outscored players that are currently playing there. So there was an ability. I had an ability in the sport. I had a skill. I had something about me, but something happened because I didn't make it and they did. And looking back and knowing what I know now, it wasn't what I was doing on the ice that was a problem. I was not optimizing my performance outside of the game. This is where the elite succeed. It's not within the business, the work that you're doing within the business. It's not the work that you're doing on the court, the field, the ice. It's not necessarily the work that you're doing as a parent when you're with the kids. It's the stuff that you do away, the 1% that make you successful. And this is what I want to talk to you about today, to give you that access to optimize your performance so that you can be at your best, which is going to help against overwhelm and anxiety as well. It's going to help you handle difficult scenarios a lot better. It's not going to let the little things nag you. You know, when you're feeling great and somebody shouts at you from the stands, or somebody, curses at you in the shop, it can. When you're feeling great, you just laugh it off and get on with your day. So how we show up daily is so vital to our long-term success, and that's what we want. We don't want short-term wins. We want to win that long-term trophy in whatever we do. So first and foremost, that key one that I spoke about just right there was stress. When you are going through life, especially in sport as well, if I look back at my hockey career, I was very heavily stressed physically. And on occasions mentally. Now, some people will be very heavily stressed mentally, but for me, it was the physical push. I was very driven into doing more would give me the return. So if I was carrying around too much body fat, I would train more or train harder. If I wasn't playing very well at the weekend, the next week I would train more, I would train harder. And a lot of the time I didn't understand, even up, I've understood stress, but over the last couple of years, I've really understood it, that stress isn't the problem. Chronic stress is the problem. It creates inflammation in your body that's very damaging to your gut, can affect your decision-making, can create brain fog. So you're not thinking and acting and performing at your best. It slows you down. It slows your muscles down. And it's just not a healthy thing to be carrying around with you when you're looking to perform. So ultimately, when I look back now on stress, I was pushing harder, whereas I should have been training smarter. I should have been slowing down, being more focused and intentful with my work, letting my body recover, which leads me on to point 2, which is recovery. My sleep was never great. I'm a good sleeper. A lot of people say your head hits the pillow and you're gone. Yes, very true. Very good sleeper. But there was phases in my career, especially when I was taking sports seriously, that I would stay up late. If you look into the finer details, there's optimal sleep windows and things like that to create 1%. I didn't care. I went to bed when I needed to go to bed, and that was that. And linking to the stress and inflammation, we've got our nervous system. If our nervous system is fried because we're not slowing down, again, that has a massive effect on our muscles, our fatigue, and everything like that as well. And our nervous system recovers when we sleep. So an optimal sleep routine is a massive helper to making you feel great every day. One big factor to know if your nervous system is fried is you're having a decent amount of time of sleep, but you're still waking up tired. It's a very good indication that you need to do some work in there. And one of the simplest fixes for the nervous system is slowing down. I learned that last year. I would run to the shop to get the shopping in, run back to save time. I would power walk round on the dog walk just to get the dog walk in to say that I've done it. Everything was 100 miles per hour. And it was actually a video on Instagram of a lady doing all of those tasks at 100 miles per hour, talking about the nervous system like I have just been busted. That is me to a T, and I need to slow down. And I'd have to say these first 2 months of the year, so this is a recording early March in 2025, I feel so much better, so much more in control, so much more alert. My creativity is back because I'm walking slower with the dog. I'm not rushing to the shops. I'm really focusing on the most purposeful work rather than just more work. It makes a massive difference. So your recovery is so important to your long-term success in your performance. And this goes for business. You've got to switch off. You've got to set your boundaries. This goes for training and for athletes. Yes, you've got to train hard, but you have to recover even harder. And if you do want to train hard, it comes on to number 3, and that's your fuel. Most people know this. Most people listen to this know what they should and shouldn't eat. But there are specific foods that increase inflammation, and there are specific foods that decrease inflammation. Okay. Now, these can all be found very easily on Google, or if you want me to go into it with you, you can book in a call at any time. Happy to have a chat. So I won't take up your time on that today. But even down to when we talk fueling, we talk hydration. 1% dehydration affects your performance. I was told this as a young kid, and I never ever was going to let hydration be a reason why I wasn't going to be at my best on the ice. So always had clear pee. That's one way to check to see if you're hydrated, is to make sure that your pee is clear. There are other ways as well, but ultimately, if you are eating the right stuff most of the time and you are hydrated, you are going to feel a difference. I always remember one client when she started, and one thing we implemented very early on was when she woke in the morning to drink a glass of water straight away. And her response was like, "This is incredible. This is the most alert and amazing I've ever felt in my life." And all it was a glass of water on waking. That's how simple this is. She recognized it, she rewarded it, and she continued it. That's where the power is. It's not in magic tricks and secret recipes. It's in the simple basic stuff done consistently. That's why the elite win, because they know that and they reward that and they stick with it. And lastly, it's your mindset. Now, this word gets thrown about a lot, but if you look at any elite sports and you look at the most elite players, they've overcome heavy adversity on and off the pitch, on and off the field. Same with business leaders. I'm sure they'll be exactly the same. Yet they still continue to succeed. Whereas you've probably seen players who have had spells of good form and are playing at a high level, but haven't been able to sustain it, or have had to move teams or take a break to find that form again. And a lot of that is because they are not necessarily as resilient, as optimized in their performance to handle those difficult situations that allows them to be one of the greats. Now, not being great isn't for everybody. Some people do just like playing at a high level. That's absolutely fine. And we don't need to go to those levels to be a great parent, to be a great business leader, to be a great human. But we also do need to train that mindset. And that can just be done very simply, just through the words, just through self-awareness, just through catching our negative talk and asking ourselves, is that real, or have we just created that? It's very simple to make a change. We just have to, 1, be aware of it, and 2, have the desire to improve. And for me, that happened a few years ago. I've spoke about it on the podcast before, about coming across a podcast episode that changed my life. And I will never look back on the growth that I've had and still having, purely because it took me down this route of my mind and how much of control I am in my life and the decisions I make, and to stop relying on other people to do it for me. So this was a short burst episode. I just wanted to make it very clear. A lot of people have performance optimization wrong. A lot of business leaders keep going on another business workshop, taking on another business coach. A lot of athletes keep doing another one-to-one football session or ice hockey session or tennis session, where it's not necessarily your technique or your business skills or your athletic skills that are the problem. It's the stuff away from that you are losing your focus on. Your stress, your sleep, your recovery, your fuel, your mindset. Do the work outside of it, and watch then your skill level within your sport, within your business increase very, very quickly. If you are somebody that has been struggling to perform at their best, that knows that there is more to what you are giving currently, that you're stuck, or you know that you're in a cycle that you can't break out of, just reach out to me. Okay, you can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me in the notes sections here with all my links. Reach out to me. I offer free strategy calls to find out if this is something that's going to work for you, to see if I can help and to see if we're a good fit. But one thing I do know is if you stay in the same place as you are right now, there will be no change. You have to do something different to move forward. And that could be just listening and implementing what you've heard today. And if you did, please let me know, share a review. If you know somebody that might be stuck in the cycle or on a plateau, please send them the episode. All we need to do here is help one person. That's why I created the podcast, and that's why I'm going. I just need to help one person today. And if it was you, great. And if it's not, please send it on to see if it can help somebody else. Thank you very much, everybody. And remember, there is always another game. Take care.